Hi, I'm Mike Wilhelm, and welcome to my version of Gasoline Alley, or better known as one of my nephews calls it, my racement. And I'm an avid 500 fan, have been for almost 40-some years now, when my dad first took me to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1971. And I've been going back every year since, and have 35 straight years at the 500-mile race, and in fact have not missed a major race at the Speedway since 1975. And a little bit about my collection here. I've been collecting for nearly 35 years, and a couple of the highlights naturally are my pit badges, and this is a collection of bronze badges that everybody uses to get in the garage area, and I have approximately 25 or 30 of them now over the years. And another significant part of my collection is naturally all the liquor bottles, all the decanters here. I've collected those. They come from liquor stores and other swap meets that I've been able to find them and add them to my collection. And one of the things I'm kind of intrigued by always at the Speedway was timing cars on qualification laps and practice laps. So I have in the case several old stopwatches to show how they developed over the years. And the first one we have is a mechanical stopwatch that actually came from the gift shop at the Speedway in 1971 or 1972, and actually still works today and works very well. Unfortunately with that, you had to have a timing chart to calculate the speed based on the time of the lap. As the technology evolved, we go to the liquid crystal display stopwatches that actually calculated the time for you, or the lap speed for you. Then we went in the early 90s to the Cronus Speedmaster, which at the time was about a $90 or $100 stopwatch, if I remember correctly. It did a pretty good job, but it wasn't the easiest stopwatch to use. Then we moved into the mid-90s, the AccuTrack stopwatches, which are still used today at the Speedway, that calculate the average speed very, very well. And I always took pride in the fact of getting the first 225-mile-an-hour lap in practice turned by Rick Mears, and that was a pretty exciting day. Some of the other highlights of my collection over the years are the photos I've taken and had enlarged and autographed by the drivers. This one, Rick Mears, and up here on the top, Roberto Guerrero at Mid-Ohio. The Valvoline clock hanging above, that clock came out of one of the garages from the late 80s at the Speedway, and now it hangs down here in my basement. And there's a lot of other individuals in the community that share my passion for the Speedway and the 500 that actually have many more races at the Speedway than I do. And I'm actually envious of them because they've seen some of the great races back in the late 50s and all the 1960s with the roadsters and the front engine cars as well. So they've seen a lot of really good racing over the years. And I get a lot of questions, why do you collect all this stuff? What's the passion for the 500? And I said, well, I really don't know, other than my dad took me in 1971 for the first time and just fell in love with it. And to quote Al Unser Jr. from Victory Lane in 1992, as I tell people, you just don't know what Indy means, and it means an awful lot to me and my family, and that's my connection to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indianapolis 500 over the years.
Back home again in Indiana, our dear friend, Mr. Jim Neighbors.
Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still burning bright through the sycamores for me. The new mown hay sends all its fragrance through the fields I used to roam. when I dream about the moonlight on the wabash.